This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in-minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so happy you decided to join us. Before we get started today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the number one shoe machine in the market. I've said this multiple times. We own 3 of them. I want a 4th and a 5th. My AAD's listening to me, but they're so great. They work so well. They're so easy to set up. I think my record is 37 seconds or 32 seconds to set it up. But mention Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off. Mention Coach Collins, they'll take really good care of you. And also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's a one-stop shop for basketball coaches. It's everything you need from a nationally ranked. We won 3 state titles. I think we were just talking recently. We've won over 460 games in our program and lost 130 over the last 20 years. And I think we know the secret sauce to be successful, the roadmap, what it takes on and off the court. So go over and check it out and enjoy the podcast. Bye. So I think you might be the coach. You might be my first repeater. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I think I've had rewinds before on my podcast, but I don't know if I've had a repeat guest. So you're in rare company, I guess, on Coach Unplugged.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel very special,
So just remind everybody kind of your background. You can give the kind of the paraphrase version. If they want to go down and hear the whole thing, they can go back to episode 84 is what I said.
It was. That's correct.
Yep. So go back and you just give a quick summary, and then we'll jump into kind of what you're doing, and we'll just start talking hoops again.
Sure. Yeah. My name's Tim Rice, and I'm basically a long-time college and high school basketball coach. Also coached internationally, originally from the Alabama Gulf Coast, and I have worked in Division I all the way down to middle school basketball. And spent about a year in Ireland almost working with Basketball Ireland, the governing body for FIBA in the country. And then also was a head college basketball coach at the Division III level and also the Bible college level for a couple of years. Currently a full-time online faculty member. I have a pretty cool gig, actually. Gives me a lot of flexibility.
You have a good gig.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually a full-time faculty member, actually the director of the Doctor of Psychology program at the University of the Rockies in Denver, Colorado, and also work as an adjunct faculty member for 3 other universities, possibly a 4th coming on the way.
Okay.
And so, yeah, keeps me
that
busy.
Intrigues. So there's a couple of things I want to dive into. First one is the professorship. So can you do that from anywhere? Like, could you live in Vermont and be the professor there? Because everything's online.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. We have a faculty member that lives in Anchorage, Alaska, actually.
Really?
Yeah. As long as it's for our school, you have to rules stipulate that we have to be in the United States, whether that's continental or the U.S. anywhere. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. And I wrote my master's thesis for Dartmouth on distance education.
Oh, you did?
It did. So it intrigues me a little bit. that, I think obviously I wrote that in the late 90s. So distance education was different in the late 90s than it is now. It was 20 years.
Right.
That's 20 years of elapsed since I wrote that thesis. But it's interesting. Okay, a couple thoughts on this. It has nothing to do with basketball, so people are just going to have to deal with it for a second. So do you think gender bias breaks down because of the of you doing it over the internet?
I suppose. Well, honestly, for me, I just look at the student as the student. Right. I never look at. I would say that, when in our online platform, we a lot of times some of our students, we might not even see pictures of them sometimes.
Oh, you might not even know them. Okay, because I just read an article about there's even hidden bias with doctors. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying you're biased. I'm just saying we all have these hidden underneath things. You know this. And they're just talking about doctors with heart attacks and that they don't diagnose it as much. Even female and male doctors don't diagnose it as much with females as they do with males.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. So there's this bias that we have to fight. But
Sure.
my part of my thesis was that would break down, especially if you don't know the gender. It's like you can't have a bias if you don't know. It's just a person. It's just an emoji or something there that you're teaching.
And that's it.
Yeah, it really is. That's intriguing. And where did you coach at the D3 level? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was a head coach at Hiram College in Hiram, Ohio, in the North Coast Athletic Conference. So same league as Wittenberg, Worcester, Ohio Wesleyan, Oberlin, Denison, Kenyon, Allegheny.
And how long did you
Wabash?
do that?
3 years.
And did you have prior? And I'm just asking these questions for some of the younger coaches. Did you have prior experience at the college level before you got hired for that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I had been before that job. That was in 2000, from 2003 to 2006. Before that time, I had gotten my first head college coaching job at 27 years old in 1997. So I was at Calvary Bible College, now Calvary University in Kansas City, Missouri. I was there for 2 years. And I had also worked in Owatonna, Minnesota for 2 years at a little school called Pillsbury College, which no longer is in existence, another Christian school. And then I'd worked at Williams College, 99-2000, for Harry Sheehy, who is, athletic director at Dartmouth. And so, he left Williams to go to Dartmouth.
Right.
So I had a decent amount, and I'd also been an assistant coach at Grove City College, another Division III school north of Pittsburgh, for 3 years before getting the Hiram job. So I definitely climbed the ladder for sure.
Right. It's a harder gig. I'm telling you, I've been watching. It's kind of like it's intrigued me as maybe a next chapter, but it's changed in the last 10, 15 years. It's like these D1 guys are jumping down to D3. It's crazy.
Well, it has changed, and I'll say this for any person that's looking, to go into college coaching. First and foremost, if you're leaving the high school ranks to go, especially in the public schools, to go to the college ranks, you got to get ready to maybe take a cut in pay. Number one,
right? No, I mean, but that's part of my theory was, and I've talked to my brother about this because I actually applied for the Vassar job, which is in Poughkeepsie.
That's right.
It is
Liberty League,
and they hired where did Steph Curry go? Davidson. They hired a Davidson assistant for that job.
Right.
Like I can't compete with that. No problem. I mean, I don't deserve an interview, but it's like that's a whole different level. But that was part of my thought is, okay, that would be the next chapter in my life. I'd go do that for 15 years, but. I mean, that's where I have to figure out if I have to go get college experience. But I would also have my teacher's retirement and that, you'd have two things working together. Because you're right. Those D3 guys don't make a lot of money.
No, they don't. But here's the thing. When I got the job at Hiram in 2003, there were 275 applicants for that job. And we're talking about that's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's gotten way more competitive even now. And now it's gotten to the point where folks that are head coaching at the Division III level aren't coaching a second sport. They're not teaching. Right. Many of them are just head basketball coach. So it's become, and as you know, being a former Division III athlete yourself, it's become a battle of facilities. It's a facilities war where you have schools like Kenyon College and Gambler, Ohio, outside of Columbus, who were in our league at North Coast Athletic Conference, when I was at Hiram. $75 million athletic complex, the Kenyon Athletic Center, that was paid for by one man.
Right.
So,
Right.
plus the education, everything else, people talk about Division III not being it's anybody can play Division III, and that's baloney. It's not true. It's, there are kids that are all state, all everything, 1,000-point scorers, and they get to the Division III level. And, one of my former players in Galway, Ireland, is playing at Lake Forest in the Chicago area.
I know Lake Forest. I went to Lawrence, so Lake Forest.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Midwest Conference.
Yep.
And, I think he was assuming that he would come in and start right away, and he didn't play a whole lot, but he learned that it's a different ball game. And, when I was in Ireland most recently in March, the Irish national team played Dickinson College. Alan Seretti, a head coach there, a good friend of mine. I was there for the game, and Dickinson beat the national team by 25 points.
Right. Yeah.
So,
it's legit now. It
totally is. Yeah. But, hey, the one thing I would say to you, Steve, would be that, hey, the thing is, ultimately, the best coaches, and we talked a little bit about this in our last conversation, that I think the best coaches are the folks that aren't necessarily the college coaches, but the coaches at even the lower level in middle school, elementary school, and some small high schools. I mean, my goodness, how many state championships have you won? 3?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, it's like, and I haven't really delved into it because my son's going to be a junior. It's kind of one of those things. I'm kind of that job opened that intrigued me.
Sure.
Dartmouth grad. It's a good school.
Yeah. Very good.
That's where I want. I would literally. I want to go to a really good academic school. Those are the kind of kids I want to recruit. That was the kind of kid that that's the way I was recruited. So, but it just got me like I put a toe into the water and said, "Ooh, what does this look like?" It's interesting. I haven't really delved into it about.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of these guys have handlers too. Even
they do.
They do. They have people that are going and working the back channels.
Yeah.
To get the door open,
Well, but I want to jump in and talk a little bit about the bias aspect. There are biases, I believe, within, and I'm not to jump necessarily into athletic administration here, but that is kind of my area of expertise. I do have a doctorate in sports management, but as someone who is, I just turned 48, and I, as a head college coach, and I have master's and doctoral degree, and I've applied for jobs at the Division III level for many years, and a lot of times I'm not getting looks. I think partly because of the age issue. They think that a 48-year-old or someone who's 50 or doesn't have as much energy as some younger buck. And I'm sorry, but younger folks out there, I think I got a lot of energy. I know Steve does too. So
no, I'm that's what I told. I was kidding with some of my assistants. I said, if I got in the room, trust me. I mean, they will see that I'm not your typical 50. I mean, but I gotta get in the room. It's like it's like everything. You gotta get that door opened, and that's where I haven't really delved into it.
Sure,
I wasn't super. I mean, I would apply. I thought if I got an interview, I'd consider it, but there's definitely a bias. I think there would definitely be a bias if I was 57 and applying. They're going, oh, he's not going to stay. It's like, what do you think? What else am I going to do? I'm not going to sit in a rocking chair.
Well, yeah. Well, and I would say this, the other thing too, and I've had a couple of people that have come to me because I teach doctoral level students that are working on dissertations and whatever, and they're like, Dr. Rice. For one thing, I keep thinking people call me Dr. Rice. Rice is pretty amazing, but because I barely graduated college, but. The thing is, they'll say, well, I want to get a head coaching job, but people are telling me I'll get a doctorate, I won't get that opportunity. And I believe that it's all based on, it's really about your network, it's about building that network and connecting with the right people. I think
so too. I think it's getting that door open, and I think you're right. I mean, I don't remember who I was talking to about this. It might have been Brendan Surr who was talking about. When he was working somewhere, I don't remember it was. I don't remember what number it was, but he was talking about when he was working. I don't know if he was working for somebody. He was working for somebody in the NBA, and they get thousands of applicants. He goes, I didn't hire anybody from that pile. I hired because I knew this. The people I hired is because I knew somebody that knew somebody. It's all about relationships. It's about connections. So that's obviously, you'd have to play those if you got serious about. And I'm telling you, the knock for me would be age and recruiting.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. and a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
Yeah. No, I would say
I think you can recruit. I mean, I can.
Yeah.
It's the math teacher in me. You know, there's only so many kids that can get into Vassar. So you're not dealing, no, I'm just saying. So if you're dealing with that job, here's your long list of, I don't know, 55,000 high school seniors. 2,000 of them can get in, or whatever it is. So all of a sudden I don't care this kid's a really good basketball player. He can't get in. So all of a sudden you're dealing with a much smaller pool, which you're all competing for, but at least you know where you are. It's not like you're, trying. Sometimes I think like Wisconsin or Michigan or some of them try to find those gems. They all know who the top 150 are, but they're not going to all get them.
Well, and let me just say too, a great example of how Division III is pretty doggone good basketball is a guy by the name of Duncan Robinson from Michigan, who started his career at Williams and was an All-American at Williams as a freshman, led him to the national championship game his freshman year. And then he said, hey, I think I want to go play Division I, and he jumped. It's not like John Beeline found him.
Right.
So, but he developed himself, and he just signed a contract with the Miami Heat, so. So I think that there are, a lot of times there are a lot of folks that don't really give it due diligence, and they don't think through it enough. They think, well, because kids are going to play Division III basketball that are tough, hard-nosed geniuses want to play for free. Actually, that was the recruiting motto we had at Grove City when I worked with Steve Lammy. Of course, he added Christian to it.
Right.
But, we had, every year I recruited at Grove City, we'd bring in 4 to 5 all-state kids. When I was a head coach at Hiram, I would start off as a head coach with 1,000 names.
Right.
Cull it down, funnel, and I'd end up bringing 10 to 12 kids in, and inevitably there would be 2 to 3 all-state kids in that group from somewhere in the United States. And so it's a business. It's something, for me, I talk, thinking about it from the standpoint of where I am as an online faculty member. And again, I've done this for 8 years full time. And the other thing, I live in RV full time. So it's, have the ability to travel and go wherever.
So how do you fly into different spots with an RV?
I don't.
Oh, okay. You always
I go to and from places just to work.
Okay. You leave that once. Because I was thinking you were flying into Boston. I'm going, didn't you leave from You got to go back to the same spot. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm not John Madden. So that's good.
No one drives it to you.
Yeah, no. But the business itself, for any person, for me, having that business and having that lifestyle, I do have the flexibility if I wanted to go after a head coaching job, even as a part-timer in Division III, and even that's difficult to do. It's a very competitive world, and I've talked with my wife, Candy, on numerous occasions about trying to go and just become an assistant coach somewhere and just see what, happens. And I think if I had that opportunity again, I would get a great chance at it. But, it's kind of hard to knock what I do now. So, I get to impact coaches.
Do you stay in warm weather? Do you drive to warm weather at all times? That's what I would do.
Well, I try to. Yeah,
I would stay ahead of the winter.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly aren't going to be right now. I'm in Minnesota. I'm outside of Fargo, North Dakota, but where my mother-in-law lives in Moorhead. But if we have an opportunity to not be in the heat of Texas or the winters here or Madison.
You don't want to be here now.
Gives me a lot of flexibility. And, honestly, when it comes to what I do in basketball, I get a chance to there's something about the value. When I go to Ireland, sometimes I think they just smell me coming because everybody's hitting me up. Hey, I want you to do this session. Hey, I want you to do that session. And it's a great ego boost, I suppose, because there are a lot of folks over there that value what I bring. And I was fortunate when I was over there in March to do three different sessions actually with
And
clubs around.
what do you do in those sessions?
Well, that's a good question. One of the things that I do is based on what the coaches want, really. And a lot of times I'm really focused on the defensive end of the game.
Okay.
So, for instance, with Titans Basketball Club in Galway, I did a defensive session with their under-16 team that ended up finishing third in the country in the under-16 club tournament. And, just worked on every aspect you can think of defensively, whether it was, as simple as jumping to the ball, closing out, utilizing hands, explosion.
Most of it's man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then I, obviously I'm really big on physical play defensively and really making it tough for the other team. And they know that we've shown up.
And where would they be? Where would that group be in comparison to kids in the Midwest?
I think behind a little bit, only from the standpoint of the Midwest is the Midwest.
Right.
So, I think if you were to take your group of your 16-year-olds from your high school there,
right,
you probably win all your games. Not because it's a negative of them, but there's some good basketball played over there, right, and there's some pretty good coaches too. I think that there's a difference in. I think in our last conversation, just. There's more. Yeah. Well, yeah, you got soccer, you got rugby and the Gaelic sports. Hopefully you got a chance to take a look at the hurling.
I did.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, one of the things, and I'll bring this up real quickly, but Croatia, of course, just doing what they did in the World Cup. It's a country of 4 million people. The Republic of Ireland has about 4 million people, and everybody over there, a lot of people over there were saying, well, why can't we be as successful in soccer? And they're also playing in the Euro Cup.
It's smaller in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, and they play in a high level in their men's side as far as basketball within Europe too.
Right.
And part of it has to do with the fact that Croatia is not going to have the GAA, which for anyone listening, it's basically the Gaelic sports in Ireland with handball, hurling and Gaelic football. Those are very big, very traditional sports over in Ireland, and so there's the best athletes aren't going to be going to specific sports like soccer or sports like basketball. So so to answer your question, I think I think that the game has changed a great deal, and I've been very fortunate working within Basketball Ireland's Elite Performance Committee to help make some changes, whether it's technological changes, whether it's different ways of looking at the game. Also, we just secured in Basketball Ireland, I was very fortunate to help them get an interview with the NBA, and they're starting the junior NBA this fall. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, they just announced the 11 clubs that were given teams across the country, and fortunately, Titans, which is a group I've worked with, was able to get one. That's one of the clubs in Galway. So yeah. And
do you let's go back to the defensive part. Do you teach them do you do anything specific like pack line or things like that? Or
similar to pack line.
Tweaks to maybe what they see. That's what I would think would be good for them. It's like if everyone else is doing A, maybe you're teaching them a little bit of B.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. When I was at Grove City and worked with Steve Lamey, he's coming in on his 300th win here in the next couple of years. Probably one of the best teachers I've ever been around. He had a system that he got from his college coach, John Barr, called wedge line, and I teach wedge line. It's basically, if you can imagine a V from the top of the key down to the corner and top of key down to the other corner. Basically, it's an imaginary line that moves, and that you want to keep your feet on that line. It's on the wing or on the high side, driving up to the baseline area, jumping back, taking angles. There's always strong help side. If you want to get into passing lanes, that's one thing. There's always good one pass away help and recover. There's always it's a physical brand. It also gives you the ability to actually be in good box out position or rebounding position.
It is interesting, and what I've seen is recently, and it's at every level a little bit, is people are kind of funneling down the sides.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like they're almost funneling, so then they can, and when we do it, we kind of trap a little bit. But they're literally like two lines parallel to the sideline, and they're actually like, we're just going to keep you over here. Like, we're not going to let you reverse. If you reverse, you have to skip it. And that's really causing, that would be something unique for them too. It's like, it would be a different look. It could be a call or something, but it's like literally like once it's on that left side of the court, it's not going back to the right side. And if it is, you got to skip it. It's an interesting concept. It's relatively new, kind of flowing through the ranks right now.
Thumbtack presents Tile Trouble. Every single time I use my sink, I make eye contact with the uneven grout on my kitchen backsplash. The crooked corners eye me, and I'm haunted by more tiling questions than I thought possible. What kind of pro can fix a backsplash? Can I replace one cracked tile, or should I replace them all? What if I just use Thumbtack? I can hire top-rated pros, read reviews, and compare prices with a tap, all on the app. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.